when I started the process, when I was writing Neglected Species and was looking into starting to film it, I felt very, very connected with the character of Malcolm Knowles. The thought of this anthropologist starting to study this lost tribe reminded me, I'm very new to adult learning, and it reminded me of starting off, studying all the adult learning theory and starting to adapt the way I work with adults based on the stuff I'm learning. I felt very much like Knowles. I've had a difficulty, and I've actually discussed this with my cohort before, of putting myself in the place of the adult learner. I am an adult, I think. I am an adult learner. I've been learning my entire adult life, both formally and informally, and I'm certainly in a PhD program. I'm very involved in formal learning right now. So why I could not picture myself as part of the group I'm studying is a great question. And so even when I went into the process of filming Neglected Species, I very much went into it thinking of myself as Malcolm Knowles. And even so much I used my own appearance for Knowles. And then of course put on the costume to be Lurna, the adult learner. Something interesting happened in the process though. I found myself really starting to identify with Lurna and the challenges Lurna was facing of getting Knowles to teach him in a way that reached him and connected with him and made things connect with his everyday life. And I started getting this split focus where suddenly I understood how Knowles felt as the educator, but I really started to understand how Lurna felt as the adult learner. It's a huge step for me. It seems strange, it seems obvious. Yes, I'm an adult learner, but I never managed to connect myself personally with the theory until I started filming that, and I went, oh my gosh, this is me. I'm as much the lost tribesman as Lurna is, and just instantly had an incredible attachment to that character. I think you can really see the change in my approach to adult learning in the very last shot of Neglected Species.
In all my time studying the adult tribe, I failed to discover the most obvious thing. I am a member of the adult tribe. I am one of them. It's high time I started learning about myself.
Knowles says, I have discovered that I am a member of this tribe and it's time for me to start studying myself. And at that point, as I was putting that script together, I made that my mission. I am studying myself as much as I am studying a different population. I'm part of that population, and a lot of the validity of what I study can be found in my own life. And that's an incredibly valuable thing, and I'm glad I've been able to stop resisting that and look for those connections with my own life to make it more viable to me personally and to see the theory in action in my own life. Another challenge I discovered along the way of making these films is that while I'm in the mood to make a film, most of the world is in the mood to do something else. That can be a huge disadvantage. There's always some other noise going on around me. Sometimes comic, not always very comic to me.
Take whatever. Okay, now someone's blasting music. It's just not going to be easy today, I can tell. I mean, blasting it. Where away is that coming from? Alright, this will be 15. We might have to shoot it a couple times. Because it sounds like every car in Georgia is on Thomaston right now. Y'all done? Good thing I'm trying not to worry about trucks today. The music is going to drive me crazy. Well, I might just have to underscore all this so as to sort of bring all that down. But it's a good day for shooting in your backyard and not going on location.
I can't win today. No, I have screaming kids. So we will do the best we can, yeah. Alright, 58. This might take a few shots. What? Oh, gosh, they're so loud. They're across the street.
I'm just going to try to ignore this noise as much as possible and pray that it doesn't mess things up too badly. I mean, they're getting louder. It's amazing. Let's hold this just in case it might be useful later. However, maybe I can put some music on this scene to hide the screaming kids, because I'm tired of waiting. This is my birthday, and I'm ready to do something other than make a film. Fun though this is, really. Alright, this is... Just wanted to let you know that all doors are locked, and the security system is armed as requested. If any of you... Great, the bell. I'm just doomed on this. Here we go again.
After The Neglected Species was finished and posted both on artisticinquiry.com and on YouTube, I started getting a lot of feedback on it, and a lot of people were really quite taken with it. I was so excited about people saying that they could learn the theory better that way. It was really designed for me to learn the theory, and I was thrilled that it was helping other people learn it as well. I actually showed it to my high school students, who really enjoyed it, and so it made such an impact on one of my students that she actually wrote an article on the whole process of artistic inquiry and the work that I am doing for our high school paper. So it's a very impactful medium. I had not planned to continue the films, but after the first one, everyone was asking me, so what's the next film going to be? And I realized that I was I was in for a penny, in for a pound. They were all going to be films. They had to be. One change at this point that had to be made was that 6 films were not going to happen in one semester. Creating 3 films in that time has been an incredible challenge. So I still feel like a lot of the series has yet to be done, and we will start approaching those hopefully over the next year or so. Not part of a class, but these have grown to me personally to be way more important than a class. These are the heart of my own learning and the heart of my own sharing about adult learning, which is a subject that I've really become passionate about over the last half a year or so. I figured a series of just pure mess-ups would be good for some entertainment as well, and give you kind of an eye into the process. Some of the mess-ups just weren't entertaining, so these are the ones that I thought, well, were.
This is, oh, wait, it's in my hand. This is 31.
Hey, what you doing? Hey, I'm out of the shot. Just stop here this next time. What do you say?
No, Lurna. Lurna. Nah, forget this. We're gonna try this again. Not long after Lurna left Triarchic Industries, I saw him driving. You know, let's just forget this take. Here comes the band.
What the heck was that?
Luckily, the person who deserves the accolades is up there getting them right now. One more time, right now. Why'd I get Southern all the time? Alright, that last one was just bad. Bad.
I'm asked often what's the process that I use to go about creating one of these inquiries. They obviously start with research, going straight to the theorist, and trying to pull out sort of the heart of the top theory of the individual theorist and work from that. In some cases I found a couple areas that I thought needed focus. In a short 20-30 minute film, you're not going to cover everything. Thinking of something like Robert Sternberg, who has, what, 100+ articles and books in print, trying to conquer everything that he's done, or cover everything he's done, excuse me, in a short film would be absolutely impossible. But trying to capture kind of the core of what he's talking about and the central parts of his theory, that can be done. And that's why I tried to isolate in the research. Then I tried to find a central metaphor. I tried to find something that could be approachable both to me and to anyone who watched this, that would connect the theory instantly to something that might be a little more approachable in our lives. The Neglected Species was easy. It's so suggested a lost tribesman and an anthropologist studying the tribesman. For Triptych, that central metaphor came sort of a different path. My wife had seen Neglected Species and had suggested that I need to do something with dancing. She knows I love to dance and would love to work that into things. And she was trying to kind of mix the different artistic modalities and give me suggestions. And she asked me if I could do a painting while tap dancing, like through paint. And I just thought it sounded like an awful lot of fun. I said, well, now all I have to do is connect it with theory. And at that point, I was trying to think of something for Sternberg, and had been studying about the triarchic theory of intelligence. And the triarchic immediately connected with triptychs, the 3-panel paintings, which I absolutely love. And I thought, well, he could be creating a triptych. And how could that be symbolic of the triarchic theory of intelligence? And it worked on from there. For the Kolb piece, for the experiential learning piece, the central metaphor was very hard to come by, almost amazingly hard. It started off being kind of an Old West piece, but kept changing from one thing to another. I actually spent probably a weekend doing nothing but trying a concept and rejecting it and trying another, until I finally got on to the standard murder mystery, and that the steps of the investigation reminded me very much of the steps of experiential learning. And finally the pieces fit together. But that was a very difficult process, which was funny for me because I connect very much personally with Kolb. Kolb has been very much the heart of my research lately, and the heart of stuff I've done in other areas. And so the fact that I was having trouble finding a central metaphor for Kolb was somewhat personally revealing to me. So once the central metaphor is in place, I then look into creating a storyboard. I don't draw the storyboard, as is often standard for cartoons and that sort of thing. I actually do a text storyboard. I describe, in general, what I want happening in each section, generally numbered. And then I will go back, I do it in a chart form, and then I break that chart up into separate pieces. And in between each of those chart forms, I write whatever dialogue or voiceover needs to go as I convert that into a shooting script. And then I get it onto video. The challenge there, especially with the ones where I'm playing many characters, is trying to find a way to not have to change costumes all the time. I do shoot them very much out of order. I try to shoot one character as completely through as I can. Well, one character per location, and then take care of the other character of that location, go through my locations. In the case of the Kolb piece, I actually filmed everything for each character before changing to the next one. So I did one long shoot for every character, which leads to another whole challenge of trying to remember where everyone is, and you're doing a lot of talking to empty space when you're playing 6 characters in one film. So if you walked around my shooting area, there were tons of chairs set everywhere representing where a person was standing, so I made sure I didn't get them in a second shot. And I made some mistakes with that here and there, but it worked out fairly well. I should mention that I'm blessed by working for a school and being the head of a theater department, that I have an entire costume shop and wig shop at my disposal, and tons of theatrical makeup, so it's very easy for me to find something to allow me to transform from one character to another.